Welcome to another deep dive into the world of AI. We're sorting through a ton of news today, over 80 sources actually, to bring you the most important updates.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, but that's what we're here for, to help make sense of it all.
Exactly. And today, there are some pretty major themes emerging. We're seeing the AI arms race heating up, for one.
Oh, absolutely. OpenAI is really pushing the narrative that China is a serious competitor. It's interesting how they're even aligning their message with the current political situation.
It's not just talk either. The U.S. government is actually tightening export controls on those powerful AI chips, especially those going to China.
This is a big move by the Biden administration. They're trying to maintain America's dominance in advanced computing, and they say it's crucial for national security to prevent potential rivals from accessing this technology.
But not everyone's happy about it. Some U.S. allies, like Poland and Israel, are pushing back.
Yeah, they're concerned that these restrictions will cut off their access to vital technology and ultimately hinder their own AI advancements.
It raises the question, could this lead to a more fragmented global tech landscape?
Right. Instead of everyone working together, we might end up with separate spheres of influence, each with their own rules and standards. And that could have a big impact on how quickly AI develops and what that progress looks like.
It's definitely a complicated situation.
Yeah.
And speaking of potential disruption, let's switch gears to something everyone always wants to talk about, AI and jobs.
Well, there's this new report that's causing a stir. It predicts that AI could start replacing certain engineering roles as early as this year.
And Mark Zuckerberg just added fuel to that fire. He announced that Meta is going to start replacing coders with AI too this year.
Zuckerberg's all in on AI. He seems to believe it can take over a lot of the coding work currently being done by humans.
Understandably, that's making a lot of people in the tech world nervous about their jobs.
Sure, but the report suggests that it might not be a total job wipeout everywhere. Some regions, like India, might actually see an increase in engineering jobs because of the specific needs of their tech sector.
So maybe it's less about the end of coding and more like the evolution of coding.
Exactly. Instead of worrying about being replaced, engineers should focus on adapting their skills to work alongside AI. It's about collaboration.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, let's move on to something else that's got everyone talking these days. AI agents.
Ah, yes. AI agents. Basically, these are intelligent entities that can interact with technology and even the real world on our behalf.
Like a superpowered personal assistant.
Kind of, but with a lot more autonomy and power.
And Microsoft seems to be going all in on this trend. They've even created a whole engineering team dedicated to AI agents. And they're relaunching their Copilot assistant with a free chat feature and pay-as-you-go AI agents.
It's a bold move. They're betting that AI agents are going to change how we interact with technology, and they're not the only ones. Lots of companies are exploring how AI agents could handle things like customer service, optimize supply chains, even revolutionize healthcare.
It sounds like AI agents could have a massive impact. But I have to admit, the idea of these autonomous entities making decisions is a little unnerving.
It's a powerful technology with incredible potential, but yeah, it's natural to have some concerns. As AI agents become more sophisticated, we're going to need to think critically about their role in society and the ethical considerations that come with them.
Absolutely. And speaking of ethical considerations, there's a new study that found that frequent AI use, especially among young people, is linked to lower critical thinking scores.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call. We can't let AI do all our thinking for us. There needs to be a balance between leveraging AI's capabilities and nurturing our own critical thinking skills, especially for younger generations who are growing up surrounded by AI.
It's so easy to fall into the trap of relying on AI for everything. But we have to remember, it's a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
That's a good point. And it brings us to another disturbing trend. AI-driven scams are getting incredibly sophisticated.
Like receiving a call from an AI that sounds exactly like a loved one. I can only imagine how convincing that would be.
It's already happening. Scammers are using AI to create really realistic deepfakes, audio and video. It's getting harder to tell what's real and what's fake.
It's a scary thought. And it really underscores the need for clear ethical guidelines and regulations in AI development.
Some experts are even calling for an update to Asimov's laws of robotics to specifically address AI deception. Our existing ethical frameworks might not be equipped to deal with this level of AI advancement.
It seems like the ethical landscape is shifting as quickly as the technology itself.
Exactly. And it's crucial that we have these conversations about ethics and responsibility now while AI is still relatively young. We need to ensure it's being used for good.
Well said. All right, let's take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and delve into the financial side of the AI world.
It's amazing to see how much investment is pouring into the AI landscape. Companies like Scale are really betting big on the UK. They're investing billions into these data centers that are specifically designed to power generative AI.
And just to clarify for our listeners, generative AI is all about AI systems that can create new content, right? Like
Yeah.
text, images, music, even code.
Exactly. It's one of the most exciting areas of AI development right now, and it's attracting massive investment. But the UK isn't the only player in this game.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. What about other countries?
Well, France is another example. They're also increasing their AI funding, although they're still lagging behind some other European countries in terms of overall investment.
It seems like every country wants to be at the forefront of the AI revolution.
Definitely. And it's not just about building these massive data centers. There's also a lot of innovation happening in specialized hardware.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We've seen a ton of news about that lately.
Absolutely. One company that caught my eye is Vertical Compute. It's a startup based in Belgium. They just raised a bunch of money to tackle a problem called the memory bottleneck in AI chips.
A memory bottleneck. I'm not sure I understand what that is.
Okay, so basically, a memory bottleneck happens when the speed at which data can be transferred to and from the chip's memory can't keep up with the processing speed of the chip itself. It's like having a super fast engine in a car, but tiny fuel lines that can't deliver the fuel fast enough.
Ah, I see. So it's limiting the performance of the AI system.
Right. Especially when you're dealing with huge amounts of data. So Vertical Compute is working on ways to improve that data flow within the chip, making AI systems faster and more efficient.
And that's really important for unlocking AI's full potential, right?
Definitely. Oh, and speaking of shaking things up, Amazon is entering the AI hardware market with their new Trainium chips and Ultra servers.
Wow, that's big news.
It is. Amazon is already a giant in cloud computing, and their entry into the AI hardware market could really disrupt things.
I bet. It's interesting to see them challenging companies like NVIDIA, who are kind of the leaders in that space right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But let's get back to AI applications for a minute. There's been a lot of talk about this new AI tool that's supposed to help improve the accuracy of expert decisions.
I saw that too. What are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely promising. Even the best experts can be influenced by their own biases. This tool could help to identify and mitigate those biases, leading to more objective and reliable decisions.
I'm particularly interested in how it could be used in healthcare. Imagine if doctors could use this tool to double-check their diagnoses.
Yeah, that's a great example. It could help to reduce misdiagnoses and ensure that patients are getting the best possible care.
And along those lines, the development of Watu GPT-01 is another exciting advancement in AI-driven medical reasoning.
This AI model is designed to handle the complexities of medical diagnosis. Doctors have to analyze so much information. Patient symptoms, medical history, the latest research. This tool could help them make faster and more accurate diagnoses.
It seems like AI is really poised to revolutionize healthcare.
I think so. But it's not just about the big, splashy breakthroughs. AI is also making a difference in smaller but still important ways.
Right.
There's this new method for improving AI translation of sign language. It could really help to bridge the communication gap between the deaf and hard of hearing community and the rest of the world.
That's incredible. I love hearing about how AI is being used to address accessibility challenges like that.
Me too. But as with any powerful technology, we have to be mindful of the potential risks.
Absolutely. We can't just focus on the positive and ignore the downsides.
We've already talked about some of the concerns like job displacement and the potential for AI to perpetuate existing biases. We need to be having these conversations about the ethical implications of AI and ensuring that it's used responsibly.
So we've talked about the advancements, the potential risks, but now let's follow the money. Who's investing in AI, and what are they hoping to get out of it?
Well, it's clear that both governments and private companies are recognizing AI's potential. I mean, it's a global gold rush.
Right. We've already touched on how countries like the UK and France are increasing their AI investments. But where's all that money going?
A lot of it's going towards AI infrastructure. Things like data centers and specialized hardware. Companies are racing to build the foundation for these increasingly complex AI applications.
Like those massive data centers that Nescale is building in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing other companies doing similar things, like CoreWeave. They're partnering with IBM to launch these AI supercomputers that use the latest NVIDIA chips.
So it's all about building the most powerful AI infrastructure. And that's what's going to drive the development of even more advanced AI applications.
Exactly. And all this demand for AI hardware, especially GPUs, is putting a lot of pressure on the industry. Companies like NVIDIA are struggling to keep up with the demand, and their stock prices are through the roof.
But it's not just about the hardware, right?
Hmm.
What about the software side of things?
Oh, absolutely. Tech giants like Google and Microsoft are pouring tons of money into developing AI platforms, tools, APIs. They want to make it easier for businesses of all sizes to build and use AI solutions.
So it's not just a game for the big players anymore.
Right. AI is becoming more accessible. Smaller companies can now take advantage of these platforms and services to create their own AI applications without having to start from scratch.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it. It could really lead to a boom in innovation across industries.
I think so too. But of course, we can't ignore the potential downsides.
Right, right. We've talked about the possibility of job displacement and the need to address ethical concerns like AI bias. And then there's the environmental impact of all this computing power. These are all important issues.
Definitely. I think transparency and accountability are becoming increasingly important. We need to understand how these AI systems are being built, what data they're using, how they're making decisions.
And we need to make sure that AI is developed and used ethically without making existing biases worse or creating new ones.
Absolutely. And it's going to take all of us working together, governments, industry leaders, researchers, the public, to make that happen.
Well said. And that's why these conversations are so important. We need to stay informed, ask tough questions, and keep talking about these issues as AI continues to evolve.
I agree. AI has the potential to change the world in profound ways. But ultimately, its impact depends on the choices that we make today.
It's a future that we're all creating together, and it's a responsibility that we need to take seriously. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI news. We'll be back tomorrow with more updates, insights, and critical analysis.